Hi guys, Mr Jaeger here, and welcome. Welcome to another channel update. Woo! And welcome to February. My god. January was shit. Straight up, January was shit. Both for the world, in some regards, and both in regards to my current life at the moment. So, in regards to the world, we had the biggest fire in Los Angeles history happening like not too long after the beginning of the new year, which was mental enough. We then had we've recently just had two aircraft plane accidents within the same week, which is both tragic and horrifying in some regard, because you're like, how in the hell did that happen? We had an incredibly quick and decisive inauguration of President Donald Trump. So his actions within a week have been impressive, to say the least. And yeah, that's honestly some good news with some of the stuff that's going on. So that's at least something. But yeah, the world has definitely taken a bit of a spindle on the whole thing, and it has just been mental. In regards to my life, things have definitely been gone better for a beginning of the year. First of all, I have some things physically that hit me bad, which is I caught whatever lurgy was going on near the end of last year, going into from Christmas going into this year. So I was kind of out of it for like 2 weeks in total, which was fun. Almost put me off work for a day or two, but luckily I had the days off as a result of working extra shifts, because my co-workers have also been ill as well. So yeah, that was not fun. And so not really in a good position to keep recording. I had a bunch of episodes to upload, which we've done, and we've been releasing content steadily over the course of the last few bits. Not hugely consistent points, but thank you very much for your patience in that. But I have been doing what I can to upload what we can. And then mentally took a hit when a significant member of our family had a bit of a health scare and was not looking good. They were almost in a position where they would potentially be on the last path, but thankfully they have recovered and now are at a good point. However, still a bit of a hell of a sketchy session, and definitely did not put me in the right frame of mind to do any kind of recording, which is, I'm sure you'll agree, understandable, depending on the fact that this is a hobby of mine. The strongest ruling I ever had about this is that if I don't have the passion, I don't do it. It sounds incredibly stupid at points, but it is. Yeah, this is a hobby, and I prioritize. I need to prioritize myself, otherwise the content's just going to be absolutely rubbish. So it's not been a great month in that respect. And obviously, I've been extremely busy with work, because naturally, if one of you goes down, we've had illnesses and sicknesses and people on holiday, and it's just been one thing after a bloody another with some stuff. So it's just not been a great month mentally wise. So here's hoping February will be a little bit more chill, and I can actually kind of focus a little bit more into other realms. But anyway, going on to the content side. So in terms of continuation, we are continuing with the Ostfront and the Battletech. I've been making some good progress with Battletech, actually, in terms of, I had a massive bulk session not near the end of last year, like before the last few days. So we're able to make some good progress in that realm, and better still, we're almost caught up on the stuff, so I can have another excuse to have a whole day of just non-stop recording. But in other things as well, Ostfront has been an absolute brilliance thing. I am very happy to see all of the all the video comments and everything about the video. I'm really, really appreciating all the feedback and all the support from you guys. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I cannot begin to appreciate. I cannot hope to express my appreciations for all of your patience and all of your comments and support and questions. Seriously, it's fantastic. Love it. Live streaming, gonna kind of put on the back burner for the moment. I'm not really in the good frame of mind at this point to try and sort of push that stuff. But once as I said, once I've had a bit of a period where things are kind of relaxing a bit, I feel like I'm on top of other stuff, then I feel more in a position to stream. Because then again, it'll be good shit. One of the things I was hoping to do well, or at least, to come out well, was the issue. Well, is Star Citizen, because I'm gonna have a bit of a minor rant here, because Star Citizen is not in a good place right now. I mean, for context, for those who don't play, Star Citizen on Christmas Eve, Star Citizen released 4.0, which was the big patch that allowed, it was just before Christmas, they released the big patch of 4.0, which 4.0 added Pyro, which was the big thing that had been announced for years. It had been delayed for years, and there'd been lots of talk about it, and foundationally speaking wise, the concept is incredible, and the gameplay was incredible. I actually got to play for a good couple of days before issues occurred, which I'll go into in a second, but when I was playing it and it was initially started, it was fantastic, to start with. I had a few issues here and there, but overall it was just a great starting example. But and I've not been to Pyro as of yet, but I do intend on going there. But the issue was the problem was that after a few sessions, I ended up being more or less locked out of my game for almost 3 weeks. And I'm not going to lie, it has dented my enjoyment and passion for the game quite severely in some regards. I mean, I always was a optimist. For a long time, I've been an optimistic sort of player for Star Citizen. I've always seen the more... I wouldn't say I'm blind. I'm not white knighting it. I wouldn't say that. I would call out the bullshit and say, come on, guys, we got to hold ourselves to better standards. Or, yeah, no, this is shit. We do need to change this. But I always still said, but look, there are things that are happening, and while it may be a bit crap now, we have to go through the grime to get to the good stuff. And 4.0 was my hope that it would reach the good stuff, that we finally would have a number of issues would be resolved, that people could finally enjoy the game, and that we could, while it may not be perfect, you could at least have longer playing sessions without having to encounter some catastrophically irritating bugs. And I didn't have that with 4.0. I couldn't play the biggest patch in Star Citizen's history for weeks. And I just had to sit there waiting because I couldn't repair my character. I couldn't fix the problem. It just didn't work. So I missed out on one of the biggest patches to release, and I couldn't even enjoy that. And then 4.0.1, which took almost a month after the release of 4.0 releases, and while my experience, at least I can now play 4.0.1 and actually, hopefully begin to catch up with Star Citizen, it doesn't feel as satisfying to play. We still have the issues. I've still had problems logging into servers, and I've had to repair my character already, which isn't inspiring. And it just... Frankly, I'm getting to the point where I'm getting fed up with just constantly having to fight this game just so I can play it. And I know that there are going to be people out there saying he's finally seeing sense, it's no longer whatever. It's like, fuck off. I know the game's going to work. It's fine. The game can work. When it does work, it is fantastic. When it works, and that's the problem, it doesn't work enough at the moment. And 4.0.1 or 4.0 feels almost like 318 to me at times. Because 318 was one of the few times I genuinely got pissed off at the game and CIG because they released the game in such a poor quality state that you couldn't do anything. And I had enough. I was like, I'm sick and tired of this. So so my passion for the game has definitely taken a massive dent. And so with what's going on at the moment, I'm happy in a small sense because there was a post made by one of the higher ops in 4.0. One of the guys, a guy called Xylo, made a post on Spectrum a few days ago saying that they've decided to stop the free fly event, and it needs to. The game needs to work, and it needs to work well, and it's like understatement of the fucking year so far. But things happened that shouldn't have happened. 4.0 shouldn't have come out at Christmas. Like, I know they said they were going to do it at the end of the year, and that's a big ask, and considering how everything was slow or whatever, I appreciate that the reputational loss of not releasing at the time that you said it was going to be released would have been a classic Star Citizen. Oh, you guys have a deadline and you missed it, blah, blah, blah. But what's happened as a result of you releasing it early and in not a state that is in an acceptable format is worse. Because I'd rather be known for, okay, I'm late to the party, but I brought the best fucking cake, than I'm early and I'm on time, but I brought bugger all. And what's worse, I gave everyone a cold. That's the problem. It keeps doing this shit. So, I'm still going to play, still do intend on doing live streams, I still do intend on doing stuff in Star Citizen, but I definitely have much less patience for stuff like this, and so it's definitely one of my kind of like, I'm not desperately hopping on Star Citizen whenever I get the chance. I do want to play Star Citizen, naturally, but I will definitely be less enthusiastic about things as I once was, and I feel like that's something that is on Star Citizen to try and rectify. CIG needs to spend some time actually fixing their game so that we can actually test the game, because a lot of you'll get the people who say like, well, you're an alpha player, this is an alpha, and I'm like, okay, fine, this is an alpha, that doesn't fly anymore, because if you can't play the game, you can't test it, can you? If you can't test it, you can't tell the people you're not a really good quality assurance person, but that's not really your fault if you can't access the fucking thing, can you? So no, I think it's just a case of now CIG needs to do more than just stop the free fly. They actually need to take their marketing team, lock them in a room, throw away the key for about a month, maybe two, and do nothing. In fact, leave them in there for a bloody quarter, making sure they have food and water and drink so that they can sustain themselves, but don't let them out until Star Citizen is in a playable state, as in you can have at least a good 6 to 8 hour session without having some catastrophic issue ruin your gameplay experience. Stop trying to sell ships. Stop trying to promote this game as something that it isn't at this point, which is functional, because it's not functional. People aren't having fun with the game. Anyway, rant over. But yeah, so aside of that, things are, as I said, going into February, things have taken a bit of an interesting turn. I've been playing, the only thing I will say that I've been doing kind of well in is I've been playing lots of Tarkov. I have been enjoying Escape from Tarkov on PvE mode a lot lately, and it's been quite nice. I've finally been able to have a crack. I've finally been able to play with some friends of mine. As well as, to be fair, I've been playing games Path of Exile, so that's been fun. Maybe I'll do something with that. I'm not sure. I'll see I'll see how things fare. But aside of that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this minor rant / whatever, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for listening to this, and if you have any kind of like other comments, if you're a Star Citizen player yourself, or if you're something like that, feel free to chip in that sort of thing. If your experience was good, if your experience was bad, I'd like to hear it. And I hope to see you all in the next one. This is Mr Jaeger, signing out.